Have you ever felt that little pull? Something more than just the day-to-day routine. Like there's a deeper connection out there, or maybe a clearer path you're meant to be on. I think a lot of us feel that sometimes. But imagine getting a call, a really profound one, that asks you to just drop everything, leave it all behind. You don't know where you're going, but you just know it's the right way. Today, we're taking a deep dive into someone pretty extraordinary, the Apostle Santiago, also known as the Peregrino del Espíritu, the Pilgrim of the Spirit. We're looking at sources like Maestro Ivan D. Mayer's work, La Vía del Peregrino y del Guerrero, and Zen en Movimiento. And they present Santiago not just as, history, but as a living teaching. We'll explore how his journey nails three really deep concepts: the Buen Camino, the good path; os, which is this deep, silent commitment; and mente de principiante, or beginner's mind, shoshin. So our mission here is to unpack his story, find those powerful insights, and see how his incredible commitment and openness can be a guide for your own inner journey, helping you handle life's calls with presence and real purpose. Okay, so let's dig in. Santiago's story doesn't start with some big, dramatic quest. It's actually super ordinary at first. He's a fisherman, right?
Right. Just doing his thing.
Yeah, predictable life on the Sea of Galilee, casting nets, working with his brother Juan, routine, known, comfortable even, and then bam, a voice just cuts through it all.
Mm-hmm. And the voice is described as clear, serene, but totally compelling.
Come after me and I will make you fishers of men.
Yeah. And notice, it's not an offer with, like, a benefits package or a map.
A guarantee, okay.
No promise of comfort or security. It was just this invitation that hit something really deep in his heart, something beyond the everyday stuff, the fish.
And his reaction is what's wild. Our sources say it was immediate, absolute.
That's what's so fascinating, isn't it? The sheer totality of it. The texts say he literally just stopped, hands still, dropped the nets, left the boat, left his dad Zebedee right there.
Wow.
And it wasn't like impulsive in a reckless way. It was more like this silent, total, yes, that's what we're calling os. This deep, all-in commitment, body, mind, spirit, everything.
So it's not just agreeing, it's embodying the agreement.
Exactly. It's like the natural response when you recognize something higher, something truer. You don't need the bullet points or the FAQ. It's almost instinctual. An alignment.
An instinctual alignment.
Good.
I like that. It's not just calculated choice then.
Right.
It's a kind of radical acceptance.
Absolutely. And it's more than just commitment. It's accepting unpreparedness.
That's tough for us today, isn't it? We like plans. We like certainty.
We really do. So this challenges that. How do you build up that trust to step into the unknown, not because you've ticked all the boxes, but because you're choosing presence, choosing intuition over predicting everything?
Right.
And this act, leaving it all, it also perfectly shows the mente de principiante, beginner's mind, shoshin.
Okay. Explain that bit more.
Well, he didn't show up with his fisherman expertise thinking he knew stuff. No preconceived ideas, no arrogance. He just embraced total inner openness, ready to learn, even without guarantees, trusting something he couldn't fully grasp yet.
That's real humility.
Totally. And that humility freed him to step into the unknown. So that first os, it was this deep, unspoken acceptance, ready for whatever came next, with a fresh mind, even if it meant total uncertainty.
It really makes you think about the nets we hold on to, doesn't it? The things we think keep us safe.
Mm-hmm. Those perceived securities. What are you holding on to that stops you hearing a deeper call? It's a powerful question.
It really is. Okay, so he makes this massive leap. What happens then? His whole life changes. The sources call it a dojo vivo, a living training hall.
Exactly. From that point on, every single part of his life became this space for ongoing learning, spiritual practice. And his teacher, Jesus, wasn't just talking the talk, he was the teaching.
Embodied it.
Right. Every story, every miracle, every act of kindness, even correction, it was all like a spiritual kata.
Spiritual kata. I love that analogy, like in martial arts, where you practice these precise movements over and over.
Precisely. Think of them as conscious, repeated spiritual movements. They trained Santiago's mind, his ability to feel, to respond, to act with presence and balance.
So it's not just intellectual learning, it's experiential.
Totally. He was refining his inner self, mindfulness, patience, gratitude, compassion through actually doing it, living it.
And this dojo vivo, he wasn't in it alone. The sources really stress the community aspect.
Mm-hmm.
Pedro, his brother Juan, the others, a real brotherhood.
Mm-hmm. The Buen Camino shared.
Yeah, which taught him that learning gets richer when you share it, right? That fraternity is a huge engine for growth.
Absolutely.
He was even in Jesus's inner circle, saw some incredible things. Gyro's daughter, the Transfiguration, Gethsemane.
And the sources say this wasn't about being special or superior.
Right, not privilege.
No, it was about understanding that the path is lived in shared intimacy through these intense communal experiences that test you and build those bonds.
That makes sense. You need people alongside you.
Definitely. And the sources mention his companions, Teodoro and Atanasio, specifically. They were there for him in tough times, moments of fear, doubt, dangerous trips. It just underlines that mission, learning, spiritual growth, it all really thrives when you're sharing it, walking together.
So this Dojo Vivo idea isn't just about solo practice. It's community, shared challenges.
Exactly. It's a continuous process and a supportive group. If you link it to Zen in movement principles, it's about that intentional, disciplined practice, the katas, but also the power of community to get through the hard stuff.
So it encourages us to see daily life challenges differently.
Yeah, not as roadblocks, but as chances to practice, to refine ourselves, to be more present. Who are your companions on your Buen Camino? Or how do you handle those repetitive, sometimes tough katas of daily life?
That's a great reflection point. So it's personal, communal,
Yeah.
but definitely not easy.
Yeah.
This path had some serious challenges, didn't it?
Yeah.
This is where Santiago's commitment gets pushed right to the edge. It gets really intense.
It does. Tradition holds that around 44 AD, Santiago was martyred in Jerusalem. King Herod Agrippa ordered it.
Wow.
Yeah. The sword ended his physical life, but obviously not his spirit or the impact of his faith.
So that final moment, that becomes the ultimate os then.
Precisely. His final os didn't need words. It was a yes spoken with his lifeblood, an act of surrender beyond explanation.
It teaches that real devotion isn't about comfort, is it?
Not at all. It's about the willingness to live and die faithful to what's essential. In his martyrdom, Santiago showed os at its absolute peak, accepting the divine will, even death, without fighting it, without complaint.
So his death wasn't a failure.
Far from it. It was the culmination. The fulfillment of a Buen Camino lived with total integrity, absolute fidelity, a complete alignment with his purpose, even when facing the ultimate loss.
That level of surrender, it's hard to grasp in our world today, really makes you think about what true commitment means. And even then, in that final trial, his companions were still part of it.
They were. Teodoro and Atanasio. The sources remind us they shared that burden, the persecution, the fear. They lived through it all with the same intensity.
So os isn't just personal grit, it's also in sticking by others.
Absolutely. It manifests in that perseverance, that loyalty, staying with someone right to the very end, even in extreme circumstances.
And crucially, what about the beginner's mind in all this? The shoshin.
That remained vital. Even facing extreme danger, that freshness from the first day, that total openness to the teacher, acceptance of what was essential. His shoshin in that awful hour, that fresh, non-judging look at the unknown, was key.
How so?
It allowed him to face it without being paralyzed by fear or preconceived notions of how it should be. Santiago, Teodoro, Atanasio, they show that a true disciple meets trials with an awakened soul and a steady body. They didn't shrink back. They faced it with an open heart.
Wow.
It really hammers home that commitment and beginner's mind aren't just for the good times, the easy parts of the journey. They're absolutely crucial for navigating the deepest, darkest challenges life throws at you.
True strength is in that surrender and staying true to your core.
Ex-
So, maintaining that beginner's mind, that shoshin, even under unimaginable pressure. That sounds like the ultimate test of presence. Not being naive, but radically accepting what is without fear clouding it. Okay, so what does all this history, this intense story, mean for us now? His story didn't end with martyrdom. The legacy is huge, right? Still inspiring people today.
It absolutely is. After his death, tradition says his body was miraculously carried by sea to Galicia. Teodoro and Atanasio still with him.
Another journey.
Yeah, and not just physical travel, it's seen as a spiritual act, showing faith crossing all boundaries, geography, physicality, everything. And in Compostela, where the three are said to rest, the cathedral is this amazing sanctuary of brotherhood, a beacon of hope. His tomb, guarded by his friends, is like an altar open to everyone, where pilgrims connect, united by that shared journey.
And those core ideas, they still echo today, don't they? The Buen Camino, people say it on the pilgrimage route all the time. It crosses borders, reminds us of connection, sharing the path.
It does. And you hear it in dojos everywhere. It stands for discipline, perseverance, respect, not just in martial arts, but any path needing that deep commitment.
Right.
And Monte de Principiante, Shoshin, that's an invitation for us right now to pause, look again with fresh eyes, Find the extraordinary in the everyday, drop the assumptions.
Makes you see things
No,
clearly.
absolutely. And the modern Camino de Santiago pilgrimage, like the walk from Sevilla to Compostela, is a living example of this. It's a chance to really unplug from the noise,
Disconnect.
connect with your inner self surrounded by history, and actually apply these principles. It's way more than just walking. It's about preparing yourself, mind and body, for a deep experience.
And that preparation, it's not just about sturdy boots, is it? The sources, especially from Maestro Ivan de Meyer's Zen en Movimiento, talk about inner preparation too.
Exactly. It's integral. The teachings include things like Japanese key breathing, cultivating vital energy through breath to energize you, and different kinds of Zen meditation, sitting, chair, walking, so you can weave mindfulness into every part of your day, whether you're on a trail or just navigating your life.
So it builds resilience.
Right. Strengthens your body, your patience, your mental clarity, helps you handle challenges from a more centered place. It's about building strength, but also flexibility, harmony in movement. The goal is to arrive, whether at Compostela or just at the end of a tough day, physically ready, mentally centered, spiritually calm, experiencing the journey, whatever it is, not just as an external thing, but as deep inner discovery, applying that mente de principiante with every step.
So whether it's a literal pilgrimage or just dealing with careers, relationships, life stuff, these principles from Santiago give us a kind of roadmap. It's amazing how these ancient ideas aren't just history lessons. They're actively used today for self-discovery, for growth.
It really shows that the core lessons, commitment, community, openness, they're timeless, universal. They work across different traditions.
So the Camino, literal or metaphorical, becomes a way to practice this Zen in movement.
I think so, yeah. It really asks us, how can you bring that beginner's mind into everyday moments? Turn the ordinary into a chance for extraordinary growth, for presence, seeing each day fresh.
It's not always about the big dramatic moments.
Often it's the small, repeated, conscious choices.
Santiago, the pilgrim of the spirit.
Yeah.
He really left us a powerful blueprint, didn't he?
He did.
That unwavering awe, the radical openness of Shoshin, the strength of a Buen Camino lived with others, with purpose. His story, from just a fisherman answering a call to a steadfast martyr, it teaches so much about embracing, learning, finding strength together, and ultimately surrendering to something bigger. In the end, maybe his life shows the Camino never really stops. It starts inside you. It always comes back to you.
Continuous invitation.
Yeah, an invitation to live with a firm heart, an open spirit, constant gratitude, turning every moment into a chance to grow, just like you did.
So thinking about Santiago's journey, what's your next step on your Camino going to be? And how will you keep that beginner's mind ready for whatever the path holds?